the game, I'm ready to roll. Got my controller, I'm in control. Level it up, rising to the top.
Hey guys, it's your boy back again with another video. And yes, the creators of Honkai 3rd Impact and Genshin Impact have come out with a new game. Triple Z, ZZZ. Oh yeah, Zenless Zone Zero. The new high-paced action RPG that recently hit the market for mobile phones, PC, as well as PlayStation 4 and 5. Now, coming from the company that made Genshin Impact, I was expecting a lot. But I'm kind of getting tired of the same old thing. Every game seems like a copycat of another game. Don't get me wrong, I love Genshin Impact and I love Honkai 3rd Impact. I love Tower Fantasy. I love Withering Waves. I love Punishing Grey Raven. I love them all. But I wanted something just a little bit different. And honestly, I can say this is a little different. Now, the character you play as, the main character, whether you pick the brother or the sister, actually they're hackers. You never really play as them when you're playing the action portion of the game, which is kind of crazy. As you can see from the footage here, this is how you hack. Basically, you're navigating through a different zone, as it were. You're in a totally different dimension, and you control your character to navigate. But once you encounter an enemy or get where you're going, you switch over to your 3-man party. Now, I've already got my heavy hitters that I want. These are the ones that I like. Don't get me wrong now, I've already unlocked 3 additional characters. But so far, these are the 3 that I really like. Now, I love the action, and the combat isn't as deep as Genshin Impact or Withering Waves, where you can do different things. It's kind of basic. Basically, you have your basic button mashing affair. But it's fun. Now, maybe with updates they can improve on the combo system, or maybe the combo goes deeper. English, buddy. Maybe the combat goes deeper than what I actually was capable of doing. You know, maybe I should get good. But still, there's no complaints. I absolutely love the game. I'm pleasantly surprised, and I'm actually playing through it as we speak. But the thing that really surprised me is how out of the gate the controller support on Android and iOS, it blew me away. Genshin Impact still, to this day, doesn't have controller support on Android. It does on iOS. Honkai 3rd Impact, hit or miss depending. On my Samsung, I had controller support, but on other Android devices I didn't, which I don't know if that was the device itself or the game. But Genshin Impact doesn't have controller support on Android. Now you have to use button mapping software, which brings up another game that recently released, Withering Waves, which doesn't have controller support on Android or iOS. I'm currently playing through it on my Razer Edge 5G using the button mapping software that's built in. But that's a story for another time. Maybe I'll do a video on that game as well. But back on the game at hand, this game pleasantly surprised me. Now, when you're in the zone, it's not open world. It's more like a linear zone. Go from point A to point B, defeating enemies. The story is pretty cool. The art style is cool. For once, it's not what would I like to call it, a Zelda clone. Genshin Impact looks very similar to Breath of the Wild. It's been spoken on numerous times. Withering Waves does too, just a little bit, but don't forget Tower Fantasy. This one, to me, the art style is similar yet totally different. I love the aesthetic of the game. It reminds me of so many games, yet doesn't seem like a copycat of any of the games that it reminds me of. We are running around the city. It reminds me of, I can't even think of the name, by Bandai Namco, that was recently released. Well, it's been a couple years now. Oh man, I can't think of the name of that game. But if it comes in my head anyway, the art style reminds me of different games. But I don't feel like I'm cheated, because The game is fun. Like, let's get back to the hacking mechanic. This is totally different than anything I've seen before.
But be careful, not too close to the
Sometimes I don't want to go through this puzzle solving hacking affair, as it were. And I'm just like, come on, man, this is slog fest. I just have to force myself to get through it. Not really a fan of it, but I will admit that it's different enough that it makes me actually want to play the game more, because it does slow down the pace. But this game isn't fast paced at all times anyway. When you're not hacking and you're actually in control of your character and you're running around the city, going to different shops, talking to different people, it's a slog fest for me. I don't have time to sit there and listen to all that and read all that, but look, I'm rambling on. I even forgot the point I was trying to make. You know, that is just crazy. That's why I should start writing down my ideas. But I like it, yet don't like it. How about that? Let's simplify it. I like the hacking mechanic, but don't like it. But it's different. And anything that's different, I'm going to applaud. Because nowadays, I feel like all games are just copycats of another game. If it's popular, they're going to copy it. We have Fortnite clones, Call of Duty clones, Souls-like clones.
It's my turn!
Everything's a clone of something else. So the fact that this does a lot of things that other games do, yet does its own thing, has its own flair for dramatics, it's pretty cool. It's pretty good. Now, like I said, I love that switch mechanic where you're in the middle of an attack and you can switch out. I like the witch time from Bayonetta when you dodge an attack. That's cool. Yet, like I said, aspects of other games. Now, look, the game is free. It's free to play. So there's no reason you shouldn't play this game. It's absolutely fun. And if you have a controller lying around the house, you can actually play with the controller. Like I said, I'm using my Razer Edge 5G to play this. When I'm at home, I have a docking station for my Razer Edge 5G, and I just dock it to the TV. Like with a lot of mobile games, you can use a controller, but it's not integrated. So you still have to touch the screen. I'll name one, Tower of Fantasy. You can use a controller in Tower of Fantasy, but there's certain things you need to touch the screen to do. So if I have my phone or tablet connected to the TV and I'm sitting across the room on the couch, for certain things when I'm playing Tower of Fantasy, I have to get up. Heaven forbid I have to get up, walk across the room just to touch the screen. It gets annoying. But like I said, you can run around the city, control everything from the controller. I have to say that numerous times. You can do everything from the controller, but you can run around the city. Now, this is the early hours of the game, so everything isn't unlocked. But like you said, I got the noodle shop, the coffee shop unlocked. And when you use the coffee shop or the noodle shop, you can actually get certain buffs, whether it's defense or attack. So far, the only one I used, the duration was 3 battles. Now, I don't know if it has different buffs that can last longer than 3 battles, but the one I used was only 3 battles. Which, hey, it wasn't like it cost me an arm and a leg. It's fairly cheap, hey. But I have to yell this from the mountaintops. I absolutely love this game. It is fun. I was expecting a lot, but wasn't expecting a lot. Wuthering Waves launched first. Absolutely fell in love with that game. But because it doesn't have native controller support, even when I'm using the button mapping software, there's a lot of hiccups. So it becomes annoying. This game has integrated controller support and I love it. Play
Game on, I'm here to dominate. No one can stop me, I won't hesitate.